Welcome to the Architects of History, a new podcast series.
Welcome back, everyone, to Architects of the Ancient World. This is part one, where we're really digging into the sources you've given us, looking at these figures who laid the foundations.
And our mission, as always in these deep dives, is to pull out the core ideas, the essential stuff from the material, so you get right to the heart of it.
Today, we're tackling someone really fascinating, maybe one of the most, controversial figures we'll look at.
Definitely. Get ready for Akhenaten, the revolutionary will of a monotheistic pharaoh, and the influence of his art-loving but dogmatic personality. A bit of a mouthful, but it sums him up.
It really does. So we're talking ancient Egypt, 18th dynasty, a time of, incredible power and wealth.
Peak empire stuff. And the pharaoh's job, fundamentally, was maintaining cosmic order, keeping things stable.
That was the expectation, right? Preserve tradition.
And yet the sources, they show us a pharaoh who just completely ripped up the rule book. I mean, this wasn't tinkering.
No, it was a full-on revolution against, millennia of belief?
Exactly. He basically said, all those gods you've worshipped forever, nope, obsolete.
Yeah.
Only one god matters now, the Aten.
Just imagine the audacity. The pharaoh, the preserver, saying, forget everything, this is the only truth now.
And we even have his words from the text, like in the great hymn to the Aten you find in the material.
Oh, yeah. What does it say?
Something like, O sole God, like whom there is no other. Pretty unambiguous.
It really is. And that, I think, is the big question the sources push us towards. What makes someone like that tick?
Right. How does a ruler who's supposed to be the ultimate conservative suddenly become this radical revolutionary?
Or was it genuine belief? Like a deep personal conviction?
Or maybe shrewd politics.
Yeah.
A way to grab more power.
Or, as some sources hint, maybe something like a divine revelation. It's hard to know for sure.
And exploring that revolutionary will, that's our goal today, digging into these sources.
Okay, so setting the scene a bit more. New Kingdom Egypt, massive empire, lots of wealth coming in.
Yeah, and with that wealth came powerful groups, institutions.
And none more powerful, arguably, than the priests of Amun-Ra down in Thebes.
Oh, absolutely. The sources make it clear they had huge estates, incredible wealth, real political clout, a potential rival to the throne, really.
So Akhenaten, he wasn't actually born Akhenaten, was he?
No, he was Amenhotep IV. Amun is satisfied, which is pretty ironic looking back.
Definitely. And the sources say he wasn't even the first choice for pharaoh.
Right, his older brother died, and that put him in line. He takes the throne around 1353 BCE.
And for the first few years, things seem normal. The material suggests he played the part.
Yeah, participated in the usual festivals, even built stuff for Amun at Karnak. Business as usual, sort of.
Which makes the shift, when it comes, feel even faster, more intense.
Exactly. Around year 5, the sources show this accelerating change. He starts really promoting the Aten.
The sun disk, right, with the re's ending in hands.
That's the one. Offering the Ankh, the symbol of life. Now, the Aten wasn't totally new, but Akhenaten starts pushing it as the god. Not just the top god, the only god.
And the biggest signal of this shift, according to the material, has to be the name change.
Oh yeah, Amenhotep V becomes Akhenaten, effective for the Aten.
That's more than just a name. It's like a public declaration burned into his identity.
It's a mission statement. And the commitment, well, it went way beyond names. The sources describe something truly radical next.
He built a whole new city.
From scratch, packed up the entire administration, the court, probably thousands of people.
And just left Thebes, the heart of Egypt, for centuries.
Yep. Marched them out to the desert, to a place now called Amarna. He called it Akhetaten, horizon of the Aten.
On virgin land, right? Untouched by the old gods.
Precisely. Consecrated purely to the Aten. I mean, think about the sheer effort, the cost, the logistics involved. The sources stress how massive an undertaking this was.
And it's in this new city, Akhetaten, that we really see what the outline calls his art-loving personality.
Oh, absolutely. The Amarna art style is just unique. The material documents it really well. It jumps out at you.
It really does. You see these, elongated figures, strange proportions sometimes, but also these incredibly intimate scenes of the royal family.
Yeah, Akhenaten, Nefertiti, their daughters.
Yeah.
Playing, kissing, just being a family under the Aten's rays. It's got movement to kind of naturalism.
It's so different from the usual stiff, formal, godlike pharaoh depictions.
Exactly. Traditional art aimed for timeless perfection, the ideal. Amarna art, based on what we see in the sources, it feels like it's trying to capture a different kind of reality. Maybe something more immediate, more human.
Almost reflecting the visible light of the Aten itself, maybe, compared to the hidden mysteries in the dark temples.
That's one interpretation, definitely, showing the truth as seen in the light. It suggests a certain sensitivity, maybe.
But, okay, the religion itself, was it really monotheism? The sources seem to debate this a bit.
They do. It's a huge point of discussion. On one hand, Akhenaten definitely went after the other gods, especially Amarna.
The sources mention temples being closed, property taken.
Yes, and systematically erasing the names of other gods. Even the plural gods itself, chiseled off monuments everywhere.
That's pretty aggressive, a direct attack on the whole system and their money, their power.
Absolutely. That's where the dogmatic part comes in strongly, isn't it?
It really feels like it. Declaring centuries of belief just wrong. It takes a certain kind of, well, uncompromising mindset.
No question, the Aten was supreme, the only one. But, and this is important from the sources, the worship wasn't really direct for most people.
How so?
Akhenaten and Nefertiti positioned themselves as the intermediaries. They worshipped the Aten and the people. They were supposed to worship the royal family.
Ah, okay. So less like later monotheism where individuals have a direct line.
Exactly. Some scholars in the material call it henotheism, at least initially one main god, but maybe not denying others entirely, then maybe moving towards monotheism, but always through the royals. That sole god line is exclusive, for sure, but the structure was different.
And trying to force such a huge change, attacking beliefs and the powerful priesthood, that must have caused problems.
Huge problems. Disruption. Resentment. Think of all the priests out of a job. Ordinary people cut off from gods they'd known their whole lives.
And the sources suggest Akhenaten got so wrapped up in all this
That other things started to slide.
yeah, like running the empire, those Amarna letters everyone talks about.
Right. Founded Akhenaten. They're fascinating. A total contrast to the happy family art.
What do they show?
They're basically desperate messages from Egyptian allies and vassals out in Syria, Palestine.
Saying what?
Help! Send troops! Our enemies are attacking! Egypt, where are you? And the sources suggest, a lot of the time, silence.
So he was just too focused on the Aten, on the art, on the new city?
It seems that way. Consumed by the internal revolution, perhaps neglecting the external realities of managing, defending a vast empire.
So you have this figure capable of inspiring this incredible art, maybe driven by a profound vision.
But also seemingly rigid, maybe out of touch with practical matters and the needs of his people, for their traditions.
That dogmatic side again, the very thing driving the revolution might have also doomed it.
It's a strong possibility based on the sources. While we don't see evidence of massive open rebellion during his reign, the discontent was clearly there.
The changes were just too much, too fast.
And too top-down. It seems his vision didn't really allow for disagreement, especially later on with the whole name-erasing campaign.
It sounds like it became quite intolerant. You were either all in for the Aten and the royals, or
you were an enemy. It paints a complex picture, doesn't it? A vision maybe aiming for universality, the sun shines on everyone, but ending up quite narrow in practice.
So what happened towards the end? How did it all unravel?
Well, he reigned for about 17 years. The exact end is a bit murky in the sources. Historians still debate it. Nefertiti kind of fades from view.
There's that mysterious co-regent, too, Smenkar.
Right, whose identity is still argued over.
Yep.
But what is clear from the material we have, when Akhenaten died around 1336 BCE,
The whole thing just collapsed.
almost overnight,
Oh.
astonishingly fast.
And his successor, Tutankhaten, he changes his name to Tutankhamun.
Exactly. Living image of Amun. That one name change just signals the complete reversal, doesn't it?
It screams it. Back to the old gods.
Totally. Guided by figures like Ai and Horemheb, Tutankhamun officially ditched Akhenaten's reforms. The sources show the old cults being restored, temples reopened, money flowing back to the Amun priests.
And Akhenaten, the new city.
Abandoned, left to crumble in the desert, just becomes Amarna to archaeologists later.
And then they tried to erase Akhenaten himself. The Damnatio Memoriae.
Yeah, a systematic effort, wiping his name, his images, the Aten's image, off monuments all over Egypt.
Just pretend he never existed.
Left him out of king lists.
Yeah.
Later Egyptian texts just called him that criminal or the enemy.
Wow. The irony. He tries to impose his single truth, and then history tries to erase him completely.
It really shows the power of tradition, of established interests. But also maybe how fragile a revolution can be when it's tied so tightly to one person's will.
So when we look back, how do we make sense of his legacy? The sources clearly offer different takes.
They really do. For some, reading the material one way, he's this brave visionary, maybe even a proto-monotheist ahead of his time, challenging corruption. They focus on the art, the concept of the Aten.
A sensitive, maybe even spiritual reformer.
But others, looking at the same sources, see a dangerous fanatic. A heretic whose obsession wrecked the empire's stability, think Amarna letters and trampled on his people's beliefs.
Causing chaos and pain.
Exactly. And that's why that phrase from the outline, art-loving but dogmatic, feels so apt.
It captures that contradiction.
The capacity for beauty and radical thought, side by side with this apparent inability to compromise or tolerate anything else. That duality seems key to understanding the brilliance and the failure.
It makes you think about revolutions in general, doesn't it? Maybe even about genius. Does it require that kind of laser focus, that intensity, even if it makes the whole thing unstable?
He was definitely an architect designing a theology, an art style, a city, all for the end.
But as the sources show us, maybe a cautionary tale too.
I think so. That dogmatic side, the intolerance, it seems inseparable from the collapse. He envisioned a universal God, maybe, but didn't build a sustainable way for people to actually connect with it.
And yet, despite being erased, he came back.
Right. Finding Amarna, finding Tutankhamun's tomb with all those echoes of the Amarna period, it brought him back into history, ironically giving his revolution a kind of immortality.
History has its twists and turns.
His story is just this powerful example of how one person can challenge everything, but also the incredibly complex fallout from doing that.
Which leads us to maybe a final thought for you listening to this deep dive. Akhenaten tried replacing this whole messy pantheon with one seemingly cleaner, more rational god, the sun.
The visible truth, perhaps.
Yeah, and today, we're swimming in information, competing stories, different truths, different ideologies. What can we take from Akhenaten's attempt? Brilliant, yes, but also so rigid to impose one single vision.
What does it tell us about conviction versus compromise? About the real costs of trying to reshape the world according to one person's absolute will?
It's something that definitely echoes, doesn't it?
Across the ages.
Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into Akhenaten's world, working through these fascinating sources.
Thank you. It's a story that really sticks with you, the power and the complexity of trying to change history.
Next time on Architects of the Ancient World, we're shifting gears, leaving Egypt behind. We're heading across continents to look at a conqueror who didn't just change borders, he changed cultures.
A name everyone knows, but whose legacy is incredibly complex. We'll be diving into Alexander the Great.
We look forward to exploring that with you. Until then.
Please subscribe us for more podcasts. Have a good day.
Please subscribe us for more podcasts. Have a good day.